G'day guys, I'm Adam, you're watching Bulls+Arrows. Today we've got an interview with Mike Herrera from MXPX. Mike, how are you?
I'm good.
Yeah?
I'm very comfortable here on this couch. It's like, we've been out all day, the sun.
This isn't just your couch, this is where you're sleeping for the weekend.
This is my accommodations here. Yeah, we're at Forest Edge Music Festival here.
Yeah, it is. We couldn't afford walls, but we got you some comfy couches.
It's all good.
Which is cool.
That's how you do it in Australia, the outback.
Obviously we're here because of the music. First question, I suppose, that's really on our mind is, what influenced you? What music were you listening to as a kid that made you think, yeah, this is the kind of stuff that I want to play?
I was in 5th grade, I know that much. I started skateboarding, and when you're a skateboarder, you have to listen to skateboarding music. So I started listening to Suicidal Tendencies, Black Flag, Henry Rollins, The Descendants. The Descendants really hit me hard because they were a band that I didn't get into them in 5th grade. That was a little later, but they were a band that, like, the style of music really influenced me in what I do with MXPX.
Yeah, cool.
It's just really, it's aggressive yet very, very melodic.
Yeah, cool.
And I always loved to sing because I was listening to like bands like Bryan Adams and The Police and The Who, stuff like that when I was, you know, a kid.
Yeah. Before
I even played music.
Yeah.
But it was when I kind of discovered punk rock that I kind of realized maybe I could actually play it myself rather than just listen to it.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
And what was the progression then from listening to punk rock to thinking, you know what, I'm going to start a band? Was there a moment where you thought this is something that I want to do?
Well, it was a lot of it had to do with friends, you know, your friends influence you.
Yeah.
Right or wrong.
Were you a groupie at one stage? Was there
I actually kind of was, but I wasn't. I would go to these band practices for a band down the street that I knew, and they were playing like really aggressive, fast punk rock, and I thought it was the coolest thing. And that was another moment when I was like, oh, I could actually probably do this myself. I started out singing with some of my buds, and we were horrible, of course. But when I actually picked up my own instrument and started like learning myself, that's when I think it actually started clicking to where I could actually do it.
Tell us then about your tattoos. Like, obviously,
sure.
There are certain people that would question why Christians would need to get tattoos. Our culture, things are a little bit different. You know, younger people growing up, we haven't worried so much about physical appearance and things like that. But, you know, was it a difficult decision for you getting your first one?
For me, getting tattoos wasn't a difficult decision. I'd wanted one. I was doing music. I was still in high school. So I was actually underage when I got my first tattoo. I was 17.
Yeah.
But I did get it, and it was the Poconacha Punk.
Do you have a favorite?
Maybe my back, or my hands, my cobra.
Your cobra.
Although, see, I don't mind snakes as long as they're tattoos.
Yeah, not the real one that we saw.
Yeah, the real ones are pretty scary. I don't know, I don't think about tattoos in the way a lot of people do.
Yeah.
Because, 1, I don't care what people think.
Yeah.
2, I guess just 1.
And was MXPX your first project?
MXPX was my first band, yes.
How'd it come about?
About 1992, we started the band together. I had already written a bunch of songs, and then I found Yuri on drums. He was a friend of a friend, and instantly it kind of just clicked. It sounds so much better with drums too, because me and Andy were sitting there playing. I was playing bass, playing guitar, no drums. We're like, this kind of sucks. Finally, we got a drummer. It was all like a band.
Complete.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do the letters of MXPX stand for?
It's a good question. I get asked that a lot. In fact, I was asked earlier today.
Yeah.
And it stands for magnified plaid.
Magnified plaid.
Yeah.
So where do the X's come from?
Long story short, Yuri was doing all our flyers. He would write M, he'd write A, you know, magnified plaid, and then finally he was like, you know what, like 3rd show, I don't want to have to write out magnified plaid, so he put MXPX, and the X's were small for periods, but they just looked cooler as MXPX. And then people would read it as MXPX rather than MP.
Yeah.
And then that just stuck, and now it's been MXPX since our first album.
Tell us then about Tumbledown.
Oh, it's just a little side thing I do when MXPX isn't touring. I play small shows with a couple other guys from my hometown.
Another thing that's part of your story is faith. Mm-hmm. When did that kind of start to be something that was, you know, important enough for you to think about?
Well, I grew up going to church with my parents, and being forced more or less. But I think there comes in a time in your life when you have to start making decisions for yourself, and then it became less of a I'm going to church because I have to I actually like being here and going to the youth group and just being a part of a group of friends that treated each other well, and it was really fun. I have a lot of great memories. And how it sort of like went into the band. I mean, I started this band and I was a Christian, so I put a lot of my beliefs into my lyrics.
Yeah.
It wasn't like I pre-thought about it and really like said, okay, this is what I'm gonna do, guys. I have a business plan or a ministry plan or it was just I was a kid, had a loved playing music and also and I had faith, so it was always very organic, and I think that's important, at least in my story, that everything I did was honest and real and not trying to be something that I'm not.
What's the craziest thing you've ever done?
Probably going to Mexico. I was just in Mexico on a tour, and everybody said, "Don't go, you're crazy." And I went, and we got our van broken into, my passport stolen, personal items, journal, my whole bag stolen actually, a bunch of our money, songbooks. That was kind of an experience. I was pretty bummed. So it just turned into this huge thing, and then we had a flat tire in the middle of Mexico, in the middle of the night, on the freeway. So we're changing our tire. There was nowhere to go. It was just a big ravine on both sides. So we're like going as fast as we can, flashing our flashlights at oncoming trucks to make sure they didn't hit us.
Is it like in the movies where you park on the street and little Mexican kids come out from behind bushes and steal your hubcaps?
Kind of, yeah, a little bit. It actually is worse than that. That would actually...
You're doing some solo stuff as well, some acoustic stuff. You dig that?
Yeah, and it's always, I still love doing MXPX, full band, punk rock, loud. But, just with our touring schedule and our schedule at home, the guys can't really tour as much as they used to. But I'm still out here kind of just on the road working, doing music. So I've kind of started doing solo stuff. I can do things in a different way with the acoustic, so it's fun to do.
Yeah, good. Last question. What's the first thing that comes to your mind when you hear the phrase bulls and arrows?
Bulls and arrows. I'm thinking it's like a bullseye and arrows, like
archery.
Trying to hit the mark.
Responsibility, what's that? I don't want to think about it. We'd be better off